Hey, good morning, fifth grade. Okay, this video I'm making is for assignment 0708. It's subtracting mixed numbers with unlike denominators by using fraction models. So basically it's going to be similar to the Zoom meeting that we had this morning. So I will shift my screen into my hover cam. And again, you see the assignment 0708 at the top. Go, trying to get that focused. And so the first problem we're going to work on is 4 1/2 minus 2 2/3. Okay, so we're going to draw 4 holes. And then draw a 5th hole, but this one we're going to partition it into 1/2. Okay. And I'm going to shade it in. Shade in each one of those. I'm just going to use a pen to shade it in so it's not so dark with a marker. So that's my holes. And then I'm going to shade in 1/2. So that's 4 1/2. Okay. So 4 1/2. Now I'm going to subtract 2 2/3. Well, remember how we make 2/3. Okay, I'm just going to draw it up here. I'm going to use horizontal lines. And in this case, I'm going to shade in 2 of those. So what I want to do now, just like we did when we added fractions with unlike denominators, I want to make this fraction right here, I want to make it look similar to this fraction with those 2 horizontal lines coming across. Okay. Now I can rewrite my fraction 4 1/2, and it's not 4 1/2 anymore. Now it's 3 is shaded out of 6 holes, so that turns into 4 3/6. Okay. Now I want to look at my 2/3. So if I look at this model, or basically what I'm doing is I'm cutting this in half this way. So it looks the same. And this is the same thing as saying 4/6. So now I'm going to subtract 2 4/6. Okay. So I cannot take away four individual parts. So what I have to do is I have to make this whole look like this model with our parts. Because I know that 6 6 equals 1 whole. So now I can go ahead and subtract. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 2 wholes. And all I'm doing is putting an X over it. And that means subtract. I'm taking it away. And then I want to take away 4 6 or 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm left with is what's right in this area here. So I'm left with 1 whole and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts out of the whole, which would be 6. So my answer is 1 5/6. 1 5/6. Okay. Again, 4 1/2. We converted 1/2 into 3/6 by equivalent fraction by just changing what this looks like by adding some horizontal lines. And then 2 2/3 changed to 2 4/6, and we got that from up here. And then we took 4 parts away after we converted this whole into 6 parts, 6/6. Okay, we'll do another problem. 5 3/4 minus 2 and 1/3. So I'm going to draw 5 holes. And then 3/4. I draw my last hole was a little bigger just because I know that this is the one that I'm definitely going to have to cut into more parts. So, and when I'm doing fourths, I cut in the middle, cut in half, and then I half the halves. And that's 4. So I can shade in 3, because that's what my fraction says, 3/4. All right. So again, this is 5 and 3/4. Now, I'm going to subtract 2 and 1/3. So 1/3, what they would look like is I would cut it, I would put two lines of partitioning, and then I would go ahead and shade in one of those parts. So I want to do the same thing to this, where I put 2 lines. Okay. So now I still have 5 holes, but now my fraction is broken up into 1, 2, 3, 4 in 3 rows. So 4 times 3 is 12. So 12 parts are in my hole. And what's shaded is 3 times 3, which would be 9. So now I know that 3/4 is equivalent to 9/12. And if I look at my top one, if I cut this into 4ths going vertical, okay, now I know what this fraction is. It's shaded, 1 row, and there's 12 total, so 4/12. So I know that 1/3 is equivalent to 4/12. Now I can go ahead and subtract. And again, you see that I'm using a different color. This kind of helps me. Oh, one thing I forgot to do was shade in these holes to represent that they're holes, so I'm shading them in. Okay. So I go ahead and X out 2 holes. And then I'm going to subtract 4 parts, or X out 4 parts. Does it matter which one I X out? No, because I'm just going to count the remaining ones. So my answer then is 1, 2, 3 holes. And I know that there's 12 parts in the hole. And the remaining blue shaded pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is what I have left over. So my answer then is 3 and 5/12. Okay. And I'll try one more for you. I will try 3 and 3/4 minus 2 and 1/2. So I would show 3 holes. And then show 3/4. Shade in 3 parts. Okay. And I know that represents 3 and 3/4. Then up here, I should know what a half looks like. That's pretty easy. So I just cut that in half and shade in 1 part. All right. So now, again, I want to make common denominators. So how I do that is I take 1 horizontal line going across, and on top I partition it into 4ths. So now I have 3 holes still, but instead of 3/4, I have, if I count my shaded, I have 6, and my total, I have 8. So 6/8. So I know that 3/4 is equivalent to 6/8. Then I subtract 2 holes, and I look at my top one, and I know I still have 8ths because we found an equivalent fraction. We found the same and as we did in our first fraction, and I know that 4 are shaded. So now I have 3 6/8 minus 2 4/8. Shade in my holes. And I can go ahead and subtract by crossing them out by using X's, red X's. And I'm going to subtract 4 parts. So what I have left over is 1 whole and 2 parts out of my total of 8. So my answer is 1 2/8. Okay, so that's 3 examples that I gave you. So hopefully this will help you gain proficiency in this standard, which is subtracting with mixed numbers and unlike denominators by using a fraction model. So again, watch this video as often as you like to help you finish assignment 0708 and have a great day.